Ladies and gentlemen, and hockey fans of all ages, welcome back to another edition of Randy Talks Hockey. My name is Randy Dillard. Another week has gone in the NHL offseason, and we have some news, trades, buyouts, signings, and unexpected firings. I'm going to go through all that and then give you another breakdown of teams which I thought have improved this offseason or have gotten worse. All right, the news. Well, we saw the Vegas Golden Knights make a trade with the New Jersey Devils. They sent forward Nikita Gusev to New Jersey for a couple of draft picks. The Knights unfortunately had no cap space to sign Nikita Gusev. They were really high up on him. They thought he would be a top six forward, and he had potential, especially the way he played in the KHL. But no money to sign him. They finally sorted all that out when traded David Clarkson, and they got under the cap. But the Devils, after acquiring Nikita Gusev, and they signed him to a 2-year deal, the Devils, they look poised for next year for an incredible season. The addition of PK Subban on defense. Then you add Wayne Simmons on at the forward to a 1-year deal to prove himself. You draft center Jack Hughes, who's going to be a great stud in this league. And now you add Nikita Gusev. Oh my goodness, the Devils look amazing for next year. Give Ray Ferraro credit. He has worked up and down to improve this team. But I think the bigger reason is the reports of Taylor Hall saying he wants out of New Jersey and we want to go on a win. He's only played one playoff series, only played 5 playoff games. Ray Ferraro doing everything in his power to keep Hall in New Jersey, wanting to sign a contract extension. We'll see, is it good enough? Some other news that has happened. Defenseman Kevin Shattenkirk bought out by the Rangers. It had just been an awful experiment between Shattenkirk and the Rangers. Shattenkirk 7 goals and 44 points in 2 seasons with the Rangers. Just not getting the job done. But the Rangers were in cap problems, buying out Shattenkirk in this upcoming year. The Rangers now below the cap by $1 million. Next year, though, the Rangers are going to have a problem because the buyout for Shattenkirk cap again is going to be $6 million. That's going to be a huge hit. I haven't looked too deep into see any big signing the Rangers have. I think Chris Kreider's contract is up for grabs. I'm not too sure. But the Rangers, if they do have players they need to sign, they are going to be a problem. But speaking of Shattenkirk, he gets bought out. An unfortunate ending, but he gets a new chance in Tampa Bay as he signed a 1-year deal there with $1.75 million. You know Shattenkirk's going to have a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove that, hey, I am the real deal. He was great going up before signing that, before getting traded to Washington and just didn't go right there, going to New York and just falling apart. And the Lightning also keep making moves. They trade forward Ryan Callahan to Ottawa in exchange for goaltender Mike Condon. Now this is a good move for the boat. They clear up the cap space. Even though Callahan was on long-term LTR, they now have $9 million in cap space. I think for sure Braden Point is going to get signed. It's just a matter of when. But you look at the Senators, they're going to reach the floor. Callahan's going to go on long-term LTR. 80% of that contract is going to not get paid out, and only 20% Eugene Melnick. The Senators going to have to pay Callahan, so Melnick's happy. His team reached the floor. He doesn't pay much money. But the Lightning, though, they're going to have goaltending. They're going to have to throw Mike Condon in the minors as well as Louis Domingue because they did sign Curtis McElhinney to a 2-year deal. Interesting how that's going to work. But the Lightning, they look good. All right, we also last week Paul Fenton got fired from Minnesota. I'm going to break that in a little bit later when I talk about which team got better and which team got worse. First off, we're going to talk about the Oilers. It has been another overhaul in the Oilers front office. After Peter Chiarelli get fired, Keith Gretzky come as intern. Ken Holland, the long-term general manager of Detroit Red Wings, came in, and he has made many of changes, bringing Dave Tippett as the head coach. But also in the front office, Paul Coffey and Craig McTavish no longer part of the organization. I think those moves alone really helped the Oilers. The Oilers were tied against the cap. We saw that trade for Milan Lucic for James Neal, but they also made some depth signing. Signed forward Marcus Granlund, Thomas Yurko, and they signed goalie Mike Smith. I'm interested to see, is Mike Smith going to be the starter here, because he did play for Dave Tippett in Arizona for quite a few years, or are they going to go with Mikko Koskinen? And you had the addition of James Neal. All in all, are the Oilers better? I'm going to say, with the addition of Neal and the hope he can score possibly 20 goals, the Oilers are very little bit better. Not a lot better, but I think they are trending in the right direction. Next, we're going to go to FLA, to South Florida for the Panthers. I would say they are one of the better improved teams this offseason. First, adding Joe Quenneville at the head coach is just incredible. The retirement of Bobby Lou still hurts. I still would love to see Roberto get to 500 wins, but he might be enjoying retirement life. They got Sergei Bobrovsky signed to a 7-year deal. They signed Anton Strawman on defense, a good defensive move. We saw that defense was not the best. They made very easy mistakes that forced their goaltender to play good. I think Strawman will help the defense there, maybe help rejuvenate the career of defenseman Aaron Ekblad. They add the forward Brett Connolly to it. They signed him to a 3-year deal. A depth move there. He has potential to score possibly 15 to 20 goals. He knows what it takes to win. They traded James Reimer. Their backup, I can't pronounce his name, Sam. He played last year. He was pretty good, but you know Bobrovsky's going to get most of the starts for Florida, 60, maybe 70. But the Panthers, I would say, one of the better improved teams of the year. They look good. They get the thumbs up from me. We are from FLA. We go to LA Hollywood to the Los Angeles Kings. Just a miserable year it was for the whole team, for Jonathan Quick, Anze Kopitar, Drew Doughty. They fired early in the coach John Stevens. Willie Desjardins take over, just didn't get better. Kovalchuk didn't live up to expectation. The Kings didn't make any big significant move in acquisition. They did buy out Dion Phaneuf, but Todd McLellan coming in as the head coach. He returns back to the West Coast. McLellan, I don't know what magic he has, but the Kings, they're in a rebuilding phase. Kopitar, Quick, Doughty, Kovalchuk, Carter, Toffoli, these are going to have bounce back seasons, but they need support elsewhere. They did draft young center Alex Turcotte, who will definitely help the Kings in the long term, but right now, the Kings just have too many holes. The defense questionable. You have Doughty, you have Martinez, because Jake Mezum's now gone. This team's very questionable. The young team going to make mistakes. The Kings, unfortunately, I don't think they're any better than what they are from last year. They're going to have a very tough season. All right, the Minnesota Wild. Where do we start here? They are definitely a team that has not improved. We saw last week Paul Fenton getting fired. It's just like, what is Minnesota thinking? Now, the reason being, from the rumors report I've heard, he wanted to rebuild, and we thought owner Craig Leopold giving him the green light to go at the deadline, trading guys like Granlund for Fiala, getting draft pick, getting the team yard. But then he goes sign Zuccarello to a 5-year deal. This team's old. The team's old as is with Suter Prize, Eric Stahl, Mikko Koivu. And then you got a guy like Zuccarello to a 5-year deal who's good, 30. They're slow. It's just a nightmare going to be in Minnesota. I know Paul Fenton didn't hit money with the Victor Rask and Nino Niederreiter trade. He did get at least a draft pick for Granlund and Fiala. It could work out, but he hasn't hit right. I still think Minnesota needs to rebuild. Who's going to be their next GM? The reports could be Peter Chiarelli. If that is, oh my goodness, Minnesota, you better pray it's not. Ron Hextall might be in the mix, but he wants to rebuild. I don't think the team wants to rebuild. Prize had a problem with the rebuild. That ultimately ended Paul Fenton's job in Minnesota. Now, he could go back as an assistant GM. Maybe another team might take a chance on him. Who knows? But the Minnesota Wild definitely are not an improved team. It's going to be a very tough year for the Wild, especially in that Central Division they are in. They'll be probably the bottom team in that Central. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it for this edition of Randy Talks Hockey. I'll be back later with more teams on which I thought better and which do I think got worse. Anyways, have a good one, everyone. My name's Randy Dillon. As I always say, remember, to watch some hockey.